A prince offered his own life to free a group of death row prisoners. What did he discover in that moment?
Sudhana continued his wondrous journey seeking the Dharma. This time, he arrived at the dwelling of the night goddess, named Great Vows and Diligent Power to Save All Sentient Beings. The night goddess sat serenely upon a lion throne of sparkling many jewels. Above her rested a magnificent jeweled net, reflecting the entire universe. The night goddess possessed wondrous spiritual powers. She could manifest as the sun, moon, and stars, or transform into a warm Dharma lamp, illuminating the darkness, fulfilling the sincere wishes of all beings. Sudhana bowed with utmost reverence. Within his heart arose 10 profoundly pure intentions, regarding the night goddess as a compassionate guide and loving parent who would lead him out of worldly afflictions.
Great sage, what is the name of this wondrous gateway to liberation? When did you first awaken the aspiration to cultivate this path?
This gateway to liberation is called teaching sentient beings to awaken their roots of goodness.
A bodhisattva's wisdom transcends time and prejudice, just like the sun that rises and sets without distinguishing between day and night. It is also like a diligent captain steering a great ship across the river to ferry people unceasingly without ever resting. To explain the origin of this Dharma gate, the night goddess shared a tale from long, long ago. At that time, there was King Victorious Light, whose son was named Prince Good Subduer. One day, the kind-hearted prince heard the cries of prisoners coming from the dungeon. He walked into the prison and saw that the inmates were reduced to skin and bones, suffering terribly, and his heart could not bear it. To save these prisoners, the prince ran to beg his royal father to pardon them. However, the stern ministers declared that whoever saves criminals must endure the exact same punishment as the criminals.
If I cannot even save these people, how can I possibly deliver all suffering sentient beings in the world? I am willing to lay down my own life to bear the punishment in their place.
Seeing the prince so resolute, the queen tearfully pleaded with the king, hoping to allow the prince to hold a grand 15-day almsgiving assembly to accumulate merits before receiving his punishment. The king consented. The prince held a magnificent almsgiving assembly in the Sunlight Garden north of the city. For half a month, whenever anyone sought help, the prince unreservedly offered them food, clothing, and precious treasures. On the very last day, the Tathagata King of the Wheel of Dharma, Sound and Lamp of the Void, descended. The Buddha radiated incredibly warm golden light, and a beautiful rain of flowers fell from the sky. Upon seeing the Buddha, everyone's afflictions vanished instantly. The Buddha proclaimed the wondrous Dharma to the assembly. In that very moment, Prince Good Subduer attained the liberation gateway of teaching sentient beings to awaken their roots of goodness, and resolved to renounce the worldly life to cultivate the path.
Sudhana, that brave Prince Good Subduer, who sacrificed himself to save others, was in fact my past life.
The night goddess explained that the ministers who plotted against the prince later became Devadatta, while the prisoners who were saved eventually cultivated the path to become the 1,000 Buddhas of the fortunate eon and great bodhisattvas.
You should now proceed to the Lumbini Garden to visit the forest goddess, perfect and complete, wondrous virtue. Seek her guidance on how a bodhisattva should continue their cultivation.
Upon hearing this, Sudhana prostrated to the night goddess with boundless gratitude. After circumambulating her in farewell, he continued his hopeful journey, seeking the Dharma. The story comes to an end. What have we learned from the tale of the night goddess? First, true compassion is seeing the suffering of others and being willing to step forward. Second, a bodhisattva helps others day and night without seeking any reward. Third, as long as we plant the seeds of goodness, they will one day blossom into the beautiful flowers of wisdom.
If you're seeking light, remember, it's never far away. It has always been within your heart. In the next chapter, we'll follow Sudhana to meet his next wise teacher.